Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? It's your boy Lionel, class of 2009, and we're back with another episode of PV versus everybody. And I hope y'all doing all right out there. Listen, I hope you've had a chance to calm down. It's been 4 days now, 3.5, 4 days since this weekend. I hope you had a chance to calm down, had a little chance to woosah, and we getting back in the saddle and getting ready for this upcoming weekend. Because listen, it was rough. It was rough. It's rough. It's rough in Dallas this past weekend. But hey, we got to press ahead. We got to press on toward the mark of the high calling. Amen. Amen. We got to press on. So wish I could have heard a little swing. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't hear no swing. Couldn't hear no P-Funk. Couldn't hear nothing. No swamp, no nothing. But it's okay. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Sometimes you gotta just let the past go. Sometimes we gotta just act like stuff ain't even happened. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes you gotta just let the past go. Sometimes you gotta act like you just don't remember nothing. What happened last game? I don't know what happened last game. We had a game this past weekend. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. Listen, I'm still hot about this game. Okay. But for the benefit of y'all out there, I can't come on here. Can't come on here too hot. Listen, we're gonna get into it though. We're gonna get into it, man. So thank you all for coming and jumping on, man. Know we're getting started a little bit late. This evening, but hey, man, listen, we got families around here. All right. We got families around here. You got families, you understand. You feel me? So we got families around here. So we got to take care of family business first. But we on now, man. We're going to get straight to it, man. Let me get this presentation up and ready for you guys, man. We got a couple things we're going to jump into on this episode. Make sure you like the stream and share it with PV Nation, man. Listen, we're trying to continue to grow, continue to build, right? This is not just about this platform. This is not just about PV versus everybody, right? This is just a space where we have this ours, that's all our own, right? Because at the end of the day, like I say all the time, we don't want to be a side conversation, right? We don't want to be the stepchild. We don't want to be the side piece. Now we want to be the everything, the main, right? So it's all about us. And so this is a space where we try to make it all about us, right? All about PV Nation. So if you're enjoying, man, what you hear, what you see, the conversation, the community, make sure you like the stream, make sure you share it, so we continue to grow, right? Continue to build, because, if we work together, right, we can do a lot of great things, right? And I think, we just need more platforms like this, right? So listen, the band let me down as well, right? I was listening to the 1876, right, Sports and Culture podcast, right? Miss Shanetta, man, she be hitting the nail on the head. I don't understand. You know what we want. You know what we want. You know what we come to hear. You knowing what we come to hear, and you don't provide us what we come to hear. Come on, man. Like, we just need to regroup everywhere. All right. We need to regroup everywhere, right? And listen, the show was terrible, right? They both took L's. He said the band and the football team both took L's. You know what I'm saying? But listen. The worst thing for me is not having the band be in sync with the football game is the most irritating and the most it's just the most irritating thing about everything band, right? Listen, when we score, when we on the way to make a move to try to come back, or when we're up in the game, right, and trying to stay on people's necks, you got to know this is the time to play. This is the time to get the crowd involved, right? Like, we talk about game day atmosphere, HBCU culture. We can't really talk about that without talking about the band's role and responsibility in that, right? Like, the band has a responsibility in creating a culture that we want to create and the environment we want to create. You talking about home games being an atmosphere where teams hate to come to Panther stadium. The band is a part of that. The band is a part of like getting us to that place. And right now, man, listen. He said the band won the exchange. Listen, them. I'm talking about during the game. Like I'm talking about what the band does while we have the team on the field. That's my main focus. 0 quarter, 5th quarter, halftime. That's all fine and dandy. That's great. That's the cherry on the top. For me personally, that's the cherry on the top. The main thing is like, how are you as a band connecting with the game and connecting with the atmosphere and connecting with keeping the fans involved, connecting with keeping the players right, hype when it's time to get them hype right, helping to celebrate when it's time to celebrate, helping to give a boost when it's time to give a boost. That's what the band is for. That's a part of that, right? Listen, so I told y'all we was coming on being happy. I told y'all we forgetting about this past weekend, though. Y'all taking me back to the past weekend. Taking me back there. Taking me back. But listen, we're going to start with the good, okay? We're not going to even jump into none of that football talk right now because we got to start with something good. And if we start with something good, it can't come from football right now, right? It can't come from the band, but it can come from volleyball. Listen, shout out again to them bad lady Panthers, right? Listen, they are doing their thing. And man, the atmosphere that's being created at these home games, I love it. When you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, now starting off 4-0 in SWAC competition, now about to go on a big road trip, right? Where they're paying some of the other conference teams who've had success over the last couple of years in volleyball, right? So this is a big road trip for them, right? So make sure if you guys can check out the games, can show your support, right? I haven't looked yet and seen where those where those games are going to be televised at. But I know they've had some games on ESPN Plus in the past this year. But some of these games may be through like, FAMS Network, etc. But man, check out the game, show support, man, because the ladies are doing awesome. This is first year coach Sherry Lindsay, not first year coaching in general, right? But her first year at PV, and she already is turning this thing around. Got these ladies very competitive already. And I think obviously they're definitely in that mix at the top of the SWAC, right? And like I say, this week is really going to show where they are, right? As they're going against like the top competition now in the SWAC from these last few years, right? So we definitely have to say and be excited about what they got going on there, man. So yeah, Coach Lindsay has been A1 from day one, man. So we definitely appreciate 9-9, right? That means, listen, if you got 4 wins in SWAC and you're 500, that means you won some out of conference games. That means you beat some other FCS and FBS competition, which she has done, right? So shout out to them, man. Shout out to what they're doing. No excuses, showing you how to get it done. So obviously it's possible, right? Obviously it's possible. We ain't throwing no shots, but it's possible, right? Yeah, Coach Lindsay showing you can turn the program around instantly. Yeah, and that's the other thing, like Richard said, right? This is a young team too, right? So they got ladies who are there who are going to be there, right, for a while. So she's really starting something here. Real powerful, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Oh, hey, listen, I didn't even know about that. So we're hosting a SWAC volleyball tournament too. Listen. I'm loving the opportunities we got. Right, we got soccer tournament coming during homecoming week. Crazy, right? Great opportunity. Think that's awesome. If we're hosting a SWAC volleyball tournament too, that's awesome. That's amazing, right? Yeah, man. So that's dope. Coach Lindsay makes her team play in a way that she got the crowd into the game. Like, no, listen, I just love their atmosphere, right? Like when we're talking about creating a culture and creating an atmosphere, you see what they're doing is getting the fans involved, right? The energy that they got from the bench to the players on the court through their own personality as coaches is getting the fans involved, right? In that atmosphere too. I just love it, man. I love what they got going on. And shout out to AD Goff. I don't know if you guys watched this past game against Southern. He was the color commentator for the game. I think he did an awesome job, man. I just love that the AD is so involved, man. Like he's super involved in all the sports. He talked about how he went to the game in Dallas, football game, came back in time to catch the soccer game right that night, and then now doing the color commentating for the for the you know what I'm saying, for the volleyball team. I don't think he's gonna be doing no commentating for the football game. I can't see that happening because I can't see that happening. But awesome, man. I just love that he's super involved, man. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. Listen. Y'all know what the final score was, 35-20. Coach Grambling scored at the end of the game this past weekend, right? So game ended up being 35-20. But at the end of the day, hey, it is what it is, right? End up being a two-score game. I mean, a two-score game, sorry. So listen, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It definitely hurt because it hurt. It hurt, man. So let's get into it, man. Good. Let's look at the good, right? Was there really any good? Let's just keep it moving. The good, only good I see out of this game is attendance was pretty good. 52,000 people, 52,385. Yo, that's dope. Give yourself a hand clap. Right, 389. Sorry, not 385. Right. Give yourself a hand clap for this. But listen, got an issue with this too. Not just good. This is just like all right, because though the attendance was there in the first half, attendance wasn't there in the second half, right? Because you really got it before and after. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's great. Yeah, we counted the numbers, but listen, we down. We need the fans involved. Listen, we need that energy. We down, trying to make a comeback. We need that energy. So I hate that we lost so many people right after halftime. Obviously, we know this is just what happens. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't what it is, right? Said Juice is always open. QB would never get sacked if they look to him when they get in trouble. He really, listen, Jenkins is open like 90% of the time. He's open. Like, to be honest, like straight up. You know what I'm saying? He said folks went back to the fair. I mean, the game wasn't out of reach. Like, the game was still close. I mean, 16-10 at halftime, that's a close game. But then people gone after halftime. I don't get it, man. I don't understand it. But especially for us, like, we got to be there. I don't care about Graham or people who just from Dallas, but like, we got to be there, man, to be down with the team. So I was kind of disappointed in that. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of definitely disappointed in that we didn't show up. So players of the game, man. Your boy Trayvon Spiller, 4 catches for 109 yards, 4 for 109. No touchdowns on the day, but definitely made some big plays in the passing game for him, right? 2 big catches, right? One that he took for about 40 yards, right? Another one that he was hit downfield. So he had a good game. And also, my man Jamal Marshall, 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. I might have to give the nod to him. At the end of the day, the defense is still not getting pressure up front. They still not getting pressure up front. And if we don't figure that out, we're going to have more issues down the line. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn Johnson had 7 tackles this game. 1 tackle for half a tackle for a loss, right? So, you know, he had an okay game, right? But Keyshawn has had, you know what I'm saying, better games this year. You know what I mean? So I gave a nod to Jamal, right? You know what I'm saying? Also, Seatbelt, shout out to Seatbelt, man. He had 8 tackles this game as well, as a tackle for a loss. So he also had a pretty good game as well. But overall, man, at the end of the day, if we're not getting pressure, we're not going to be able to win these games if, one, the defense doesn't get pressure, and 2, they're not getting off the field on third downs. Those are the 2 biggest issues right now we got. Like, yes, the secondary is like just a huge glaring issue, but we can kind of help that problem if we can get to the quarterback more often. But we're not getting to the quarterback more than not. I mean, we had 1 QB hurry this game. That was it. We basically don't touch the quarterback. And we haven't touched the quarterback for the first 5 weeks of the season. So now at the end of the day, like, this is a problem. This is really a problem because we don't got the corners on the back end to cover. And we're not getting any pressure. So that got to be fixed. And we got to get off the field on third down. We are not getting off the field on third down at all. That's why Grambling almost had the ball for, 38 minutes? Almost 40 minutes? They almost doubled us up. 38 minutes they had the ball. Why? Because we're not getting off the field on third down at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Silly unsportsmanlike penalties. Yeah. And the scheme, definitely. Carrie, the scheme is, listen, at the end of the day, anyway, it's gonna be, I got a question in 20 questions. We're gonna get to it, right? So let me just keep it moving, right? So listen. I know he's talking about it, you know what I'm saying, especially in the alumni group this past week. Like, where we at on this panic meter, right? Like, is it time to panic? Are we okay? Where we at, right? Where are we at? Because at the end of the day, this season, just like last season, look, last season, with all the players you had returning, it's SWAC Championship Game or bust. Period. Like, you got to the SWAC Championship Game the year before with Dooley. You got, a boatload of the players coming back. Like, it's not just like, hey, we're just looking for a 6-5 season. No, looking to get to the SWAC Championship Game and win it. This year is still the same. The goal is still the same. The goal is SWAC Championship or bust. Like, we're not in a rebuilding mode. We're in a mode where, listen, it's time to get it done. We're here with a grad 6-year quarterback. We're here with 2 transfers who've put in work in the SWAC. Caleb and Juice Jenkins, right? Like, we got better personnel on offense. Like, it's SWAC Championship or bust. But now, 2-1 in the SWAC, losing to Grambling. And, this loss to Grambling is so big, man, because when you look back, if you're going back to 2009 and looking at every year that we finished second, the team that we couldn't get over the hump was Grambling. It was Grambling, right? And so this is big. But the bigger reason, right, and the reason I'm saying this, right, and asking the question is because, listen, Grambling doesn't have FAMU on their schedule. They don't have Florida A&M on their schedule. So even at the end of the day, if we say, hey, Grambling's going to drop another game, which I can see Grambling dropping again, I don't think Grambling's going to have play as bad of coaching as they played this past game, right? Because they simply outcoached us. And I don't think that's going to happen every game the rest of this year. So I think Grambling's going to lose. They're going to drop games. But Grambling doesn't have Florida A&M on their schedule. Southern does. We do, right? Both us and Southern, we have to play each other. We've already beat Alcorn, right? So even if Graham drops 2 games, you're looking at most likely Florida A&M still being able to win against us and win against Southern, right? So at the end of the day, we may need Grambling to lose 3 games and for us to win out. If we're going to say we're going to drop the FAMU game, right? That's 2 losses. We'll have to win out in the West. And Grambling will have to lose 3 games, right? So just so we understand, right, what we're talking about here, right? We're looking at the schedules aren't equal. Grambling doesn't have Florida A&M on their schedule this year. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Grambling doesn't have the schedule that we have, right? So yes, say Grambling loses to Alcorn, but say we lose to Florida A&M, right? We got 2 losses to their 1, and they also have the tiebreaker. So they would still have to lose 2 more times. That means they have to lose to Southern, and then they have to lose to Alabama A&M, or drop to UAPB or someone else, right? So, okay, cool. They lose to Alcorn for homecoming. Again, I'm still laying out. I'm laying out what's before us, right? This loss to Grambling means they're up 2 games on us. That's essentially what it is, right? Because they have to lose another game. They have to lose 2 games, right, in order for us to take their place. Because it's not even, right? If they play FAMU, then that's even across the board. Grambling, even if we beat Southern and then Southern beats Graham, right? Now it's a 3-way tiebreaker, and we still have an opportunity, right? Because say everybody loses to FAMU. Grambling doesn't play FAMU, so it's not even across the board. So we need them to drop 3 games if we don't win out in the SWAC, right? Every game we lose means Grambling has to lose 1 more game, right? Right now they need to drop 2 games for us to have the outright in the SWAC, right? So if Alcorn beats Grambling, wouldn't that make it a 3-way tie? Yes, but I'm looking at it from the complete. So I'm looking at it from the complete. I don't have Grambling schedule on here, but if we look at our schedule, right, we still got Valley, FAMU, UAPB, Southern, and Alabama State. All SWAC games, right? All SWAC conference games. I'm coming under the premise that, hey, if we lose to FAMU and Southern loses to FAMU, that means us and Southern have an extra loss, all right? So based on where things sit right now, Grambling has no losses. So if they lose to Alcorn, that's 1 loss. But we would need them to drop 3 games in order to have the tiebreaker over them. That's what I'm saying, right? They would have to drop 3 games, and Southern would have to drop 2. We would have to beat Southern, and FAM or Grambling has to beat Southern, right? So we put ourselves in a really bad predicament by losing to Grambling, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, listen, either we got to win out, period. If we win out, that solves all the problems, right? But that solves all the problems, right? But it solves a lot of the problems if we win out, right? Because, again, I think we all think Grambling's going to lose, but is Grambling going to lose 3 games? Because right now, based on the schedule we have, that's what will have to happen, right? And so, we're gonna see what's happening. We're gonna see what goes on. See, Grambling will lose to Anime. Also, their DBs are not that good. We just didn't exploit them. A&M likes to throw it all over the field. Way more creative on offense than us. Yeah, so, again, maybe they lose to Alabama A&M, right? Grambling could lose to Alabama A&M. They could lose to Alcorn. And then if they lose to Southern, hey, all fine and dandy, right? But that's if we only drop 1 more game in the SWAC, and it can't be Southern, and it can't be Florida A&M. I mean, it could be Florida A&M, but it can't be Southern, right? It can't be Southern. We can't lose to Southern, period. Period, point blank, right? So we're going to see. Hey, listen, I'm with you, Elvin. We got to focus on what's ahead of us, right? I'm just looking at the big picture, you know what I'm saying, and we're gonna get it. But let's keep it moving, Rand. Let's talk about this PV fantasy football. For all of you guys who have been playing and being a part of that, you know what I'm saying. Let's get into this PV fantasy this week, right? Want to thank our man Willie Mack for coming and being a part of PV fantasy. We thank all the new participants each week, right, who are coming and being part of this. We're trying to continue to grow the love for the team on the field. Right, it's one thing to have an atmosphere. It's one thing to just be at the games, right? But to actually get people to put their eyes and pay attention to the game itself. So this is something we created, man, to try to do a little bit more of that, right, and encourage that. So with this week, the game rules show that, hey, you got a running back, you take a wide receiver, you got a flex player, you got a tight end, you got a linebacker, defensive lineman, and 2 defensive backs. But we got to change this week, right? So this week we're not doing it the same. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing it the same. We're going to switch it up this week, right? We're actually not going to have any tight ends for this upcoming game because we don't use the tight ends. We don't use tight ends anyway, so they can't be a part of fantasy. They out. No more tight ends. We ain't choosing tight ends no more because we don't use them anyway. So, I'm just playing. Listen. You got 8 players that you can pick. You know what I'm saying? Choose between any one of them you want, right? You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter which tight end you choose because they probably ain't putting up no fantasy points. We're not going to look that way. All right? That just is what it is. All right? Listen, that just is what it is. Hey, listen, I'm trying to help y'all out. That way y'all can focus more, right? Just focus on 7 players because the tight end spot ain't going to get used anyway. All right, it just makes it easy on everybody. You know what I mean? Listen, but you can't trust our staff to put together the right XOs to finish strong. I hope so. Willie, listen, I hope we win outright, man. Listen. So let's get to it, man. So y'all know how it goes down with the offensive score system again. I'm gonna drop the link right now for week 6 as well. So that way you guys can have that and go ahead and start to contemplate and figure out what you're gonna do regarding this week's game against Valley. Defense, right? We've added pass breakups and QB hits as 1 point, right? Now, again, you know what I'm saying? Sacks is on there. We might as well scratch that off too because we ain't got but 1 sack on the season. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. All right, so let's get into it, man. Let's talk about week 5 and see who are our winners. We're going to start out in 3rd place with that bad man, Richard Atiba. Class of 2014 coming in 3rd place with 50.9 points. Congratulations again for medaling. He's been doing a way better job, right, since week 1 of the season. So hey, listen, we're going to tip our caps to you, man, for, hey, man, you got to celebrate. Listen, you got to celebrate the small victories, all right? Listen, 3rd place is medaling, all right? We got some people still trying to medal, you feel me? So in 2nd place, listen, how we cheat you? You making your own picks, all right? You making your own picks, all right? Listen, I already know every time I go, I'm looking. I know who Richard gonna have on his team. Like every time, like I know who he gonna have. As soon as I look, I'm like, yeah, this Richard lineup right here. So so keeping it moving right. In 2nd place, we got none other than the guy who never leaves the medal stand. Like he literally sleeps on the medal stand. All right. Every single week. Like he stays there. It's just his home, right? It's his 2nd home. All right. 53.9 points. That boy, Brandon Lee, that boy knows some Prairie View football right there. That boy knows some Prairie View football. They might as well make him an analyst. All right. Listen, they might as well make him an analyst. You feel me? But Richard, appreciate you like for playing, right? And coming in 2nd place. And drum roll, please. Coming in 1st place, the only man who had Trezon Spiller on his fantasy lineup this week. Only one person took that bad man, Trezon Spiller. 4 catches, 109 yards. Listen, only one man took that bad man, and that was none other than that boy, Elvin. Elvin, class of 2005, 61.4 points. The first person to crack 50 points in PV fantasy. Elvin did his thing this week, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let you know what his full lineup was, right? You know what I'm saying? But he is the only one who had Trezon Spiller in his lineup this week. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, big ups to you, my guy. You win nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? But very soon, we're going to get something together, right? You know what I'm saying? So we can take care of y'all, you know what I'm saying, for playing PV fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. Congrats to all y'all out there for medaling. You know what I'm saying? That bad boy Obadiah was close. Man. Keep tapping in with this class of 2020. You know what I'm saying? Got the new graduate, you know what I'm saying, in with this too as well. So keep tapping in, man. Listen, finally medaled, man. You finally medaled. All right. So let's keep it going, though. Let's get into the SWAC review real quick. Then we're going to jump into our 20 questions for the week. So, last week, Texas A&M finally got a win, 52-7. Alabama A&M murdered Tuskegee. I mean, now that's what you're supposed to do to a D2 opponent, all right? That's what you do. That's how you handle your business. 58-3. Southern went up to Arkansas Pine Bluff and handled their business, 27-0. And this team looks like it's just getting better week in and week out. So, listen, we got them later on the season. They look like they're picking up momentum. So we got to pick up momentum as well, right? Alcorn, of course, coming out with the win against Alabama State, 23-20. Listen, Aaron Allen has been throwing the ball all around the field. Like, Alcorn don't look like Alcorn of last year right now. Like, they switched it up. So they get out of Alabama State with that win. Definitely was wishing they would have dropped their game. Obviously, to put them at 0-2, but they are 1-1 right now in conference. And then, of course, Florida A&M 31-7 over Valley. The game was closer than the end score through the first 3 quarters. Valley definitely kept it close, and Florida A&M pulled away at the end, 31-7. So right now, West standings looks like this, right? Grambling is 2-0 in conference with Southern. We're sitting at third at 2-1. Alcorn is 1-1. Pine Bluff 0-2, and Texas Southern 0-2, right? So right now we're sitting in third place, needing some help, right? So we definitely got a lot of work to do now to catch up. The good thing is there's a lot of games to be played, right? Grambling still has Southern, Alcorn, Pine Bluff left on the and Alcorn left on the schedule this year, as well as Alabama A&M and Bethune-Cookman, right? So they still got a lot of SWAC games left to play. Of course, we talked about our schedule as well. So listen, we still got a chance. It's not over yet. But listen, that panic meter is definitely creeping up, right? It's creeping up, right? And this week we need to see something. We're going to change that. So conference games this week, we got Bethune-Cookman going to Alabama State. Of course, that's an East matchup. We got Alabama A&M going to Jackson. That's going to be a great game. I think that's going to be a really good game out there. Listen, Quincy Cases looked really good these last couple weeks. So I think Jackson's going to have everything cut out for them in that game. And that's like a revenge tour game because Quincy used to be over there. Used to be over there right before Dion came in. Then, of course, we got Florida A&M going to Southern, right? Hopefully the Rattlers going to brag and take care of business there. Obviously, that would give Southern their first SWAC conference loss of the year, which will, have them at 2-1. So definitely hope, fam, you can go in there and handle business. And, of course, Grambling goes to Alcorn, right? For Alcorn's homecoming. So that's going to be a big game. And I think that's going to be a tough game for Grambling to come out with the win. We'll see what happens, right? But, of course, every game Grambling drops now is going to be for our benefit. So we're definitely pulling for Alcorn to go and handle their business. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm rooting for anybody that puts Prairie View in a better place. All right. Whoever helping PV out, that's who I'm rooting for. Period, point blank. That's it. Yeah, listen, I kind of feel like this is going to be a really close game. This is going to be a really close game. I don't know. It's going to be close. I don't know. If I had to make a choice, I probably would choose, Alabama A&M has looked better at quarterback more recently than Jackson State has, right? So if I had to make a choice, I would say A&M actually pulls that one out. That'll be what I say, right? G says Southern always looks good after bye week. Yeah, so it is what it is. Hey, listen, whatever you need to do to help us out, man, help us out, dog. So, listen, let's get into these 20 questions, man. Y'all know what it is, the Panthers Sports Edition, you feel me, of 20 questions. I don't know if y'all was around, right? And 20 questions was on and popping, man. But when I was sports editor, that was like one of the things that I always had the campus buzzing. So y'all know what we do every week. We bring that 20 question to PV versus everybody, right, and have our sports edition. So let's get into it, man. 20 question. The first thing is, listen, is that Mississippi curse over? Is it over? Like, is it all the way over, or is it still lingering around there? Because we got over the snide against Alcorn. We need to do it again here against Valley. We've had trouble these last 2 years getting over the hump against Valley. This is a chance for redemption. And we need to come out strong. And we need to come out quick, fast, and in a hurry. This doesn't need to be one of them games where we allow. See, when you look at last year's game too, at halftime, we should have been up like 3 scores. We really should have been up like 3 scores. But we allowed them to linger around. And listen, that field out there in Itabena end up getting us. And we end up dropping that game. But we allowed them to linger, right? We gave them hope. We need to strip away all hope in the first quarter. These 2 good drives that we normally only put together need to be excellent, and we need to score touchdowns on both of the first 2 drives, right? And get the job done. Listen, that's what I hope too. But I that's what I'm hoping for ever. But then if I'm being honest, right, who do we ever put foots in? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do we ever put foots in, though? I mean, that's the only thing I can say, because at the end of the day, we have yet to show that we're a team that, like, we'll play against a team and we're going to just literally take their heart out. We're just going to literally crush your soul and just make you realize that you're inferior and you have no chance against us. I haven't seen us do that yet, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, we need that type of performance, right? You know what I'm saying? He said it better be for Bubba's sake. Listen. It was a different culture, Valley. Hey, but listen, it's a different culture, Valley. But guess what? It's the same staff that's here now. It's the same. We ain't different though. Valley may have a different lineup over there, but what's different about us? What's different about us than what has been in the past couple years that say, hey, we put foots in people? So I still ain't seen it, right? And at the end of the day, at this point in the season, I can't believe it till I see it. I mean, it just is what it is, man. It just is what it is, right? We definitely need more than 80 fans of the game. Let's keep it going, right? Since Valley is bringing their band, will we win the halftime show? When will we win the halftime show? We ain't put no foot in nobody since Southern's homecoming. Listen, and that we did our thing. We did our thing there. We did do our thing there. Grambling last year too. I mean, well, no. Yeah, that second half was, I mean, we just lingered that whole second half. We didn't do anything, right? So yeah, but that Southern game, I give you that Southern game. You know what I'm saying? Said no, Valen Durant, band director is that guy. Nope. You know what I'm saying? I guess, but the standings say that's a different story. Yeah, so we'll see, right? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see if we win this halftime show, right? 0 quarter, 5th quarter. Because Valley bringing their van, I feel like that means they confident, right? Because I don't remember the last time I seen Valley van. All right, what would the atmosphere be like for this second home game? You know, first home game was just right? You know what I'm saying? Now we got Valley coming. Obviously, we all remember the infamous 700 fans game. Like, are we going to be able to get the students out for this game? And that's the bad thing about taking a loss, such a lackluster loss, right? Because it kind of kills your momentum. But what's the atmosphere going to be like for this game, right? You know, are we going to be able to bounce back, not just on the field, but from a fan perspective, right? Are we going to be able to bounce back? Because listen, at the end of the day, too, the team feeds off the fans too, as well, right? So that's a part of what we got to do and what we got to bring. Said it's going to be a low attendance. You think it's going to be lower than the ACU game? Same as the first game. So they may come out, right? I mean, I hopefully we get them out. Listen, that's what I said too. I think they bring the band because they think they got a chance, right? So hopefully the atmosphere is good for this game, man. I'm definitely going to make my way down to the game this weekend. So, because listen, Valley needs to get that business, period. Valley got to get that business, period, right? SWAC championship or not, they need to get that work from us because, listen, the way they did us the last 2 years, they deserve to get that work. Just point blank, period. They got to get that work. Because, listen, you should have just laid down. Listen, just end your season, right? Killing me. All right. Now, this is a real question. Will this be the first team Valley throws for more than 150 yards against? That's the question of the day. Listen, 4 games in, Valley has not thrown for more than 150 yards yet. I think their highest passing yards total so far is 131. But our secondary is shown to be very welcoming. I don't know what else to say, right? So, are we going to be the first team Valley throws for more than 150 against? Tony, you got, unfortunately, yes. Man, listen, I say I'm lining up man-to-man the whole game, making Valley quarterback beat me all day. He got to show me. That may be exactly what they hope we do, too. That may be exactly what we hope. Listen, we gave Alcorn so much confidence that the man went back the next game and threw for almost 300 yards. I mean, listen, we turned Valley into a passing team. I mean, we turned Valley into a passing team, guy. Say this is going to be a high-scoring game for us for sure. Hey, Florida A&M only scored 31 points on Valley. I don't know. I can't. Listen, at the end of the day, man, at this point in time, the team's got to show me. My belief is gone. You know what I mean? All right. What is the first play we're going to run on the first offensive drive of the game? Anybody? Anybody can raise your hand. Let's raise your hand to make sure we're all on the same page. What is the first play we're going to run on the first offensive drive? If you don't know, you'll know. All right, number 6. Will this defense have? I don't. That was incorrect, right? Will this defense have more than 10 sacks this season? Hey, listen, y'all. I'm just saying. If you don't know, this is like the question on the test that's just there so everybody gets points, right? What's the first play we run on the first offensive drive? You know what I'm saying? 21 dive. Listen, look, you know what it is. First play of the game. Elvin says, no, we're not going to have more than 10. We only have one official sack this season so far, right? Really, like I say, it's really 2. They kind of robbed Calvin Presley because he got a sack in the Alcorn game too, that they didn't register as a sack for some reason. But we only have 1 sack through 5 games, y'all. 1 sack in 5 games. This is crazy. 6 games left. Are we going to have 10 sacks as a team? I'm talking about as a team right now. Yo, we got to get more pressure on the quarterback, man. I don't think from what I've seen these first 5 games, there's no way we're going to get 9 more sacks this season. All right. Another question, just like number 5. Will Valley have any player, running back or wide receiver, who goes for over 100 yards? They have not had a wide receiver. They've not had a running back yet go for over 100 yards, rushing or passing. I'm only asking because, listen, as much as we want to believe in the defense, they haven't shown themselves to be true yet. So is Valley going to have any player go for over 100 yards? If I had to guess, I would say that because I think they're going to throw for over 150 for sure. But now, how is that divvied up? I don't know, right? You know what I'm saying? But I think possibly they could have a receiver definitely go for over 100 yards this game, right? I don't see a running back going for over 100. I think we'll play better up front when it comes to stopping the run against Valley than we will stopping them through the air. You know, my thought process. But I definitely think there's for sure a possibility for us to give up over 100. Because at the end of the day, I mean, Grambling threw the ball around the field, right? I mean, you're talking about, I think they had, let me go look back. I think they had, I want to say 10 people make a catch. Let's see. So Grambling had 8 people, 10 people with targets, right? But they had eight receivers, right? With catches this past game, right? One person with 7 receptions, another one with 7, one with 6, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, right? So you're talking about 8 different people with a catch, right? So I don't think Valley got them numbers like that to where they just about to spread the ball across 8 different people. But I think Valley has 1 or 2 people that they're gonna force feed and that could rack up some yards. So said running back no, wide receiver yes. Said they're gonna spread it out. Listen. I think definitely one of the receivers is probably gonna go for 100. All right, listen. Which Panther running back gets the most carries this game? Typically, Ahmad Antoine typically gets the most carries, right? I mean, he's typically 1A to Caleb Johnson's 1B. But obviously, you know, this is really a game that, you know, for Caleb Johnson, hey, this is against his old team. Do you think he gets more carries this game based on the fact that he's playing against his old team, or you think Ahmad Antoine, or hey, Connor Wisham ends up with the most carries this game? Elvin, you got Caleb. Caleb's getting payback. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't even know if it's payback really. I mean, he had his coach leave, so you know what I'm saying, he bounced. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning Caleb just for the fact. I mean, you saw him on the graphic too as well, leading up to the game. So I think they definitely going to try to make sure he gets involved. You know what I'm saying? Depends on the score in the second half. I mean, do you think the score is going to be? I think the score is still going to be pretty close. I think it's still going to be a good game in the second half. Like, I don't really see us blowing Valley out, man. I really don't. All right, listen. What is your favorite thing about PV home games? What's your favorite? Oh, you got Connor. Q got Connor getting the most carries. That would be interesting, right? Listen, Connor was the second leader rusher last week, right? Averaged 11.2 a carry. So, listen, you know, that big run he had too. So, Connor's very dynamic. Connor's very dynamic, runs very hard. What's your favorite thing about PV home games, right? Like as is, right? Right now, right? We're not talking about what you desire. We're not talking about adding to the game day experience, right? I know we've had conversations about that too. But right now, as is, right? Like, what's your favorite thing about PV home games? You know what I'm saying? What's your favorite thing about PV home games? Say like that Connor is a sophomore. Yeah, man. I mean, he's obviously next up. And listen, he runs hard. He doesn't go down easy. Connor's a very, very hard runner to get on the ground. He gets a lot of yards after his first contact. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely love Connor, man. So what do y'all think, man? What's your favorite thing about PV home games? Don't have to drive back home after the game. Far back home after the game. Okay. I mean, so the commute. All right. Q say my people that's true to it and not new to it. All right. All right. Being with family at the games, niece and nephew enjoying the game, win or lose. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm with Tony, man. Just being on campus to me, right? It's just something about being back on campus, right? You know what I'm saying? Being able to walk and see what new things, right, are being upgraded, right? Seeing, being able to walk through the buildings, right, and see some of the old places that you used to trek at, right? See what they got going on, right? Hollering at some old professors, man. It's just the camaraderie, man. Just being able to just touch bases with the old family. I think that's really what I love about, you know what I'm saying, being at home. Said Connor's nice. We need to get him the ball in space, screenplays and jet sweeps. Carrie, we don't run jet sweeps and screenplays. Did you not know that? Listen, you can't be an analyst. You can't be one of our analysts because we don't run those plays. Says, see my linebackers have seats together and seeing my son since he's in school there. Yeah, that's dope. That's definitely dope, man. Yeah, I definitely think the people, man, is what makes it what it is, right? So, all right, let's keep it going, right? What did you think about Grambling scoring at the end of that game? Were you upset about it? Was it, I mean, neither here nor there for you? Were you like, yeah, hey, score. If they can't stop it, then they can't stop it. I'm definitely on the right side, all right? I'm on the like, listen, it's football. If you can't stop it, you can't stop it. What I'm supposed to do? I'm on the 3-yard line. You know what I'm saying? What I care more about? I care more about your feelings, or I care more about my backup running back getting a chance to get in the end zone, whose family is at the game. What I care more about? Do I care more about the optics of me beating you by 15, or do I care about your feelings? I don't care about your feelings. I care about my team. You know what I'm saying? So I had absolutely no problem with them scoring. And at the end of the day, like, do what you do. Because, hey, he said, didn't know they did. I was walking away. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. The beauty of the stadium says too as well. And that's answering from the question earlier. G says, you thought it was unsportsmanlike. It's still time on the clock. Like, hey, listen. You could have run the ball out if you want to. It was under a minute left. You tried to get first downs. Like, I sacked you, and that's how I got the ball back. Like, you could have just run plays and punted the ball. Listen, hey, you know what I'm saying? So what if someone got hurt because of it? It's still in the game. Boom. The game is still going on, though. Like, the game is still going on. It's 4 quarters of football, right? Like, the game's still going on. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't got no problem with it. Stop them, then it won't happen. But if Bubba, listen, and yeah, and you should remember it. And now Bubba had a problem with it. I think Bubba should have said something about it. Like, hey, let it be known. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it makes us put our foots on opponent's neck. Again, I ain't never seen us use our boot on anybody yet. I wish we would use it. You know what I mean? Grandma was thinking ahead in case of a tiebreaker for margin of victory. That's a great point Says making there too, right? Because the SWAC got all these weird rules when it comes to tiebreakers and stuff too. That's a good point. Needed that gut check, right? Said he's still not a good coach. It didn't bother Jared. Yeah. He said he didn't want the QB to take a knee. Yeah. He said you too old school. I don't know. Maybe I'm not old school enough. I ain't have no problem, right? All right, listen. Which defense will have the better showing this week? Valley's defense or PV's defense? I don't think this question is as random as, you know what I'm saying, we think. Because Valley played very well last week against Florida A&M until the end of the game, right? And I mean, Florida A&M definitely has far more superior talent than Valley. But at the end of the day, they played well. I mean, they only gave up 31 points to Florida A&M. We gave up 35 to Grambling, right? You know what I'm saying? They're Valley. I mean, now they lost to Central State. So listen, but you know that Valley defense can be. Listen, I was gonna say they can be scrappy, right? So says PV defense, like I think it's a push, man. I still think we're gonna win this game because I think we just got superior talent on the offensive side of the ball. But from defensive standpoint, you know, I think it's gonna be kind of neck and neck. You know what I mean? Say Valley been on the road for all their games except last week. I mean, what the crowd gonna be like though? I mean, it ain't like they coming into a hostile environment, right? If we're gonna be honest, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't play great anywhere, but you know. So let's keep it going. Who is going to make the play of the game? Who is going to make the play of the game this week? I think last week, you know, I said I thought we was going to see Trezon make the play of the game. I thought we would see Trezon use his legs more the last game. That didn't happen, right? You know what I'm saying? So who do you think is going to make the play of the game this week? Listen, as much as I would love for this man, this bad man, right, to make the play of the game, he can't make the play of the game only getting 2 targets a game. Like, you know, that's the thing that kills me right now, y'all. With our offense, the one thing that kills me right now is we clearly have no special packages for Juice. It's just like he's just, hey, we just throwing him out there, and he's just one part of our very vanilla scheme on offense. But there's no specific packages that we have made just for Jenkins. And it just boggles my mind, right? That we don't have specific packages for him. We don't have specific packages for the tight ends, right? We got 2 dynamic tight ends, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't use neither of them. We don't have any packages specifically for Juice or for Shamar Savage. Like, I mean, even Kobe Cavill. Why don't we have packages in place for these different dynamic pieces that we have, man? It just kills me, man. It just kills me. He says it's going to be on special teams. We'll see, man. We'll see. All right, let's keep it going. All right, which of our cornerbacks would be the first to look for the ball in man coverage? This is a very interesting question because, listen, I've looked at multiple games now, and maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, if you've seen somebody look back, right? But I have yet to see any cornerback look back and play the ball when they're in man coverage. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it. So I think Q, you was talking earlier about us being more impressed man. But listen, first and foremost, they don't get their hand on anybody in man coverage. At this point, I think it's coached. It has to be coached that you don't even touch, you impress man coverage and you don't even touch the receiver. Like nobody's touching the receiver across the board. So like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's a funny question, but it's a factual question. Listen, first of all, somebody name me the player that they've seen, the corner that they've seen, turn back and play the ball. Wait, we got tight ends. I told y'all, we not having tight ends this week on fantasy football. No tight ends can be chosen because we don't use tight ends, right? But listen, let's go back to the question. Somebody name me one cornerback. Look, I'm gonna give you 15 seconds. Name me one cornerback that you've seen turn around and play the ball in man coverage. Tell me what game it was in, because I'm gonna go back and watch the game, and I'm gonna find it. Because I promise you, y'all, I've not seen not one cornerback, and I'm not talking about like, yo, this cornerback has a tendency to not play the ball. He's playing the receiver, right? He's always facing up on the receiver, right? Playing their eyes. I'm talking about I've never seen any of the corners in any game in the first 5 games turn and play the ball in man coverage. Not one cornerback in one instant of one play yet. I'm waiting. Somebody name me the corner. Somebody name me the corner that's turned around and played the ball in man coverage. So listen, am I wrong to think that this is being coached? Am I wrong to think is it our frame of possibility that this is being coached, that they're to play the receiver this way in man? Because listen, nobody's turned and played the ball. Nobody has turned and played the ball. Listen, it heals me. You ain't the only one. Nobody plays the ball. Y'all go back and watch the Grambling game. Show me one. Show me one. Listen, Kerry, I don't understand how you impress man and you ain't touched the man. But it's not even that they don't even touch the man, yo. They don't even put their hand. They don't even put their hand. It's not even like they missing. It ain't like you miss. It's like, bro, you ain't even try to throw him off his route at all. What's the point of being in that coverage if you're gonna give him a free release? What's the point? Come on, man. Come on, y'all. I know we gotta have, man. Somebody please call any cornerback. Somebody call any cornerback, any NFL corner, please, and see if they can see if they can give us an analyst discount. Because we need help. We need help. I don't want to name names, but listen, we gotta have somebody on this team that can at least look for the ball. At least look for the ball. We got to have somebody on this team that can at least get their hands on something. What's the point of us having taller wide receivers and taller corners and bigger corners if they're not using their size to throw receivers off the route? I just don't understand. Somebody call Reggie right now. Listen, DM the man. Please DM Reggie and tell him we need your help. He in the middle of the season though, so I don't know if he can help us right now. Like, he's still playing. We need somebody who's done. We need somebody like Cromartie, right, who's retired. All right? You know what I'm saying? I can't remember seeing him do it while shooting the game. Listen, Boom got everything's on his camera. Everything on Boom camera. Boom, look through all your shots and show me one shot of a cornerback turning to play the ball. You ain't going to find it. Anyway, I'm off of this. Said, listen, all right, listen, it's just. But I'm just trying to figure out, y'all. Am I wrong to think it's coaching? Am I wrong to think that they're coached to play man coverage that way? Because it can't be that every play of every game that you a man, you don't bump any of the receivers and you don't turn to play the ball. You gotta be coached to do it that way. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Stay getting closer to the receiver to watch him make the play. Listen, all right. Which defensive player will record the second sack of the season? Hey, he's I think so far been the best defensive lineman that we have, right? So far, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm really hoping that, man, we can put together, a team up front that can get more pressure, because right now we're not getting the pressure we need from the front four. I know Steven Shaw is still out, but we got to figure out a way. We got to create some blitz packages, right, in order to get more pressure, because we can't keep winning games allowing quarterbacks to sit back and have all day to throw. You say Keyshawn Johnson, right? Yeah, I'm thinking Travion Green, right, with his speed. If we can put together some creative blitz packages, man, I think he can get to the quarterback and get us a sack. Let's keep it going. What y'all think of AD Goff's color commentary for the women's volleyball game? I thought it was dope. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, right, in the show. Man, I thought it was awesome. I would love to see him do a lot more of that, right? You know what I'm saying? Even with, covering the soccer games and things like that, some of the Olympic sports, because he obviously has a knowledge of all of these sports. So I think it's really cool to see him being super involved like that. And I mean, I think it was dope, man. I think it was really good coverage, right? You know what I'm saying? He added some really good perspective to the game as well, right? Man, listen, he's dope, yo. He's dope. He's been so dope so far. You know what I'm saying? He's been super dope so far. Like if you're talking about giving somebody time, I'm willing to give AD Goff some time, because from what I've seen so far, like, I know he has a desire to create a winning program, you know what I'm saying, with the athletic department to make us a top tier athletic department. So I'm willing to see like where he wants to take us and give him a chance to really just get a lay of the land and put his plan together, put his team together. So I'm willing to give AD Goff some time, because he's showing me, right, like, that there's something there, and that excitement that he has. Like, you need that when you're talking about change. Like, it's the same thing we're talking about with volleyball, right? What Coach Lindsay brings through her personality to the program is infused into the players, which then gets infused into the fans, into the student support, infused into the alumni base, right? It adds that excitement for this sports team, right? For this department. And I think the same thing with him, right? Like, what he's bringing, right, is going to infect other people in the department, and the alumni base as a whole. So I'm super excited, man, about what he's got going on. Yeah, super down to earth. Boom said he loved it. He said, Green, why is he playing inside? Let him rush the passer. Yeah. And Delvin said, your head coach played 10 plus years in the NFL, a position where we've been struggling at since Labor Day, and it's very concerning. I mean, each of the time I've seen, him been asked even about, the front, is like, it's not a problem that we're not getting pressure. But I'm like, listen, the secondary and pressure up front go together. I mean, it's like red beans and rice. You know what I'm saying? It just go together. It's like black people and sweet potato pie. It just go together. You know what I'm saying? It just go together. All right? It just go together. It's just like PV and the band playing Swamp. It go together. So I don't know why we don't do it. Okay. I don't know why we don't do it. It go together. Like, it should always match up. But anyway, I'm off that. Let's keep it going. What do you need to see this game to give you confidence that this team can still win the West, right? Or can this game even do that, right? Playing against Valley. I mean, we should beat Valley, right? So is there anything really that would show you that this team can still win the West? I think I think what I need to see is I need to see different schemes. It's not just simply no, they didn't. No, 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 they didn't. All right. So I need to see schemes, right? It's not just the win that we need. We need to win, but in order to build confidence in me, what I need to see is that one, from a defensive standpoint, right? We're putting the players that we have in better positions, one, to create more pressure, right? Bringing more, creative blitzes, pressure packages. And then two, on the offensive standpoint, right? Like starting to see us put some plays into place that I'm like, okay, like this is a package that they put together specifically for Juice, right? Or this is the package they put together specifically for, Trezon, right? Like I need to see something different, right, in the play calling to give me confidence, right? Because at the end of the day, we have talent good enough to win the SWAC West and to win the SWAC Championship. The question is, can we coach that talent better than this team can coach their talent? Because I think our talent is comparable, but can we coach that talent better than the other team can coach their talent? And I think that's what's going to tell us, right? Said, just like the band, trumpets are the worst, and the band director is great at trumpets. So we got an NFL, safety who got a horrible secondary, right? We got a band director plays the trumpet and got trumpets that's horrible. It's just crazy, right? Okay, so creative plays, aggressive defense, right? Dominance, foot on the gas. Says dominance, be disrespectful to the other team. And Boom says no mercy. Can we drag the tight end and run belly routes to Wisham and Antoine? Another thing too, this make a good point, Kerry. We never, listen, tight ends and running backs, right? I mean, look all around the NFL. Right? I mean, I understand it's not the NFL, but listen, look all around the NFL, look all around the top, look at some of the top coaches, some of the best offensive coordinators. They use their tight ends and they use their running backs in the passing game. These are two things we hardly ever do. We hardly ever use our tight ends or use our running backs, which makes perfect sense when you're talking about having safety valves, right? Being able to have a place to check the ball down to so we can still get yards and keep the play going. Like on some of these plays, the tight ends and the running backs aren't even covered at all. Like that catch that Antoine had that he took for like 20 yards, it's because he literally wasn't covered, like because we never go there. And so the defense understands that. So these players are many times wide open, right? So stop doing 21 dive every first down. It ain't gonna never go away. They would not remain undefeated in the conference. We have to do our part and win the West. Yeah. Yeah, we did have Caleb Johnson is the one that I saw that had the two drops. But from what I've seen from Antoine, what I've seen from Connor Wisham, I think they have the ability to make catches out the backfield. But at the end of the day, I mean, to be honest, though, said like that's not something we put into. That's not a part of our game plan, right? Like, listen, a part of the game plan for the Saints is to get the ball to Alvin Kamara in space. It's to throw him a swing pass, right, and let him work in open space. That's a part of the game plan. A part of the 49ers game plan is to get Christian McCaffrey the ball in open space. That's a part of the game plan. We don't. This is the thing. It irks me all the time, right? I'm trying to stay calm. Listen, what is our game plan? How about that? What's our game plan? When you watch this team, right? When you watch this team on offense, when you're watching us, you can watching these games, it's like there's no clear picture of what we're trying to do. Like, it's no clear picture of us saying, like, okay, they're trying to get Juice the ball, right? Like, okay, like they're trying to attack Grambling up the middle of the field, right, with their tight ends. They're trying to draw Grambling in. They're trying to soften Graham's pass rush up by throwing screen passes, wide receiver screens, tight end screens, running back screens, so they can soften up this pass rush, right? We gave up 4 sacks this game. But it's like nothing that we see is like, it's like there's no clear game plan, man. It's no clear game plan. I think we already had that question. I think I had that question twice. I don't know what happened there. So anyway, how much confidence do you have that we'll win by more than 2 scores? So I'm talking about more than 15 points, all right? That's another thing, man. We don't have no intermediate game, man. Our intermediate game is crazy. And we brought in, we got Kobe Cavill and we got Juice Jenkins, man. But we got no intermediate game. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Like we're not even setting up the long pass. The only play that we have is that RPO action, right? That we seek is like we trying to set up a pass downfield, deep pass downfield. That's like the only play and set. But at the end of the day, it's the only play you got, and everybody knows that play because you run it every game out of the same formation. Anyway, all right. How much confidence y'all got that we're gonna win by more than 15 points? None. We too nice. I say win by more than 15. We have more talent. More talent. Yeah, I agree. Right? And I agree. It is too slow, but also it's the same action out the same formation, man. That's why I say it's such a vanilla offense because we use the same package for the same play, and it's the same thing every time. We don't even change the formation so that we are seeking to throw the defense off. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. He said, "Listen, we only scored 7 points last year." I'm not that confident. I ain't gonna lie, man. We don't normally put out. We're the team that would get up 21-0, 17-0, and then have just a long third quarter where we don't move the ball at all. Where we're playing very timid. I mean, where we get very conservative on offense, and then they get back in the game, right? And we end up winning 24-17, right? So I have no confidence that we're gonna win by more than 2 scores. 19, right? Will the defense create any turnovers this game? We've had a hard time creating turnovers. We've lost the turnover battle. We've lost the turnover battle. I think every game we played except the TSU game, right? So will the defense create any turnovers this game? And see, it's hard to create turnovers. Listen, one thing that I've learned playing football is it's hard to create turnovers when you don't turn to look for the ball. How you gonna get any interceptions? I mean, they can throw a short foot. It don't matter. You ain't even turning to look for the ball. Listen. We still on that. These next 2 weeks are supposed to be practice games for us, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. He said he doesn't do a good job in keeping Conley in rhythm. He had a good rhythm on the first drive, then it's gone. Yeah. I mean, after the first 2 drives, man, I feel like it's always downhill on the play calling. So, and I noticed that last week too. How you come out 4th and 1, right? 4th and 1. I think we was down 9, I think then, right? I think it was 29-20 at that point, right? So you come out, right? It's like 4th down. I think we probably on the 30-something yard line on Graham, like 30, 35 or something like that. You come out, Graham calls a timeout, their last timeout. Come out in a heavy package. You go back, you come back in the same package. And I said to myself, watch me come out and run the same play we were gonna run before they called timeout. And lo and behold, we run the same play they run. But it's just the fact that you run the same exact play you were gonna run. Why you think they called timeout? What was the point of them calling timeout? What do you think they was doing? It's like, oh, well, let me just give them a little bit more rest. No, Negro. Like, listen, they were looking to see what you coming out in. It's crazy. All that time for the same play. It's crazy, man. All right. What will determine whether we win or lose this game? Last question, man. I think we talked about it a little bit earlier. The defense got to play well, man, not give up big plays at the end of the day. But what y'all think? What will determine whether we win or lose this game? Yeah, that was basically it then. I mean, we needed to score there. We had to score there. So let's talk about players to watch. This game, man, listen, Travion Conley. He's the quarterback that we've been going with this season. And so he got to that game against Grambling. There was a lot of throws that he missed. I mean, we just being straight up, right? There's a lot of throws he missed. Had one behind Juice. He missed Bloomfield a couple times. Threw one short to Bloomfield, right? That ended up getting intercepted and picked off, right? So he has to have a better game. And I think for some reason he's only seeing the big play, right? And this team overall, and what I see is we don't have very good football IQ in my opinion, because some of these 3rd down and 7s, 3rd and 6s. I mean, one, the play call, we have 4 routes and all of them are 15 to 20 yards deep. Why are we doing that? Like, you got to know down and distance. Like, the coaches need to know down and distance and the players need to know down and distance. You got to know what we need for the first down, right? So I think, again, the play calling puts Conley in very bad positions because, listen, if on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, all your routes are 15 yards deep, like, hey, like, I mean, that's putting you in a bad position, right? So I understand. But there was also a lot of plays that were left that could have been made if you put the ball on the man, right? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, but hey, this season, right? A lot of these teams, right, at this point, right, are putting a spy on Conley, and they're saying, like, one thing's not gonna happen. He's not gonna beat us with his legs. So he's gonna have to be a passer. He's gonna have to win the ball through the air, and he should, because listen, we got better personnel this year. He needs to use the personnel we have, right? Bloomfield dropped one, you said, in the second quarter. Yeah. So the other player I got is Caleb Johnson, man. Listen, it's a big game going back against your old team in Valley. It's time to step up, put in that work. Out of all the running backs this year, I think he's been the one who has been the least disappointing as far as what he's been able to do. Of course, Ahmad Antoine, I think, has shown, to still be the most explosive, the most productive back this year for us. But I think it's a game that I think they're going to definitely try to feed, CJ the ball a lot more than they have previously. And so it's a big game for him, man, to step up. I also got Travion Green and Derek Way Jr., both of them, for the simple fact of, listen, we got to create more pressure up front. I think Derek Way got to win some one-on-ones. I think he's definitely been playing well. I think Richard was talking about that earlier. He's been playing really well. But Travion Green, listen, we got to use him in some type of packages, man, to get him going at the quarterback, especially this week against Valley. This is a great week, right, to try out some blitz packages, you know what I'm saying, against a team who you don't have a quarterback that scares you, right, and you don't think can pick you apart. So you don't think they're giving Johnston the right play to do what he does, right? So, and then for Valley, we got a couple players to check out, right there. Running back Jarrett Wilson, Carrick Ross, which is a receiver. That's been their top receiver this year. So, we definitely need to watch him, because at the end of the day, he's the one who, if they are going to, make some plays through the air, he's probably going to be the guy who they go to more often than not. They also got Christian Fagan, one of their top cornerbacks, right? 4 pass breaks up so far this year, and second leading tackler on the team. And he's second to Jaron Fox. who's a linebacker, leading tackler on that team, right? So these are some players to watch from Valley, man. Definitely need to make sure that Wilson doesn't go off and Carrick Ross doesn't go off again. This team hasn't had a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver yet this season. This don't need to be the game that it happens. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens, right? So keys to the game: offense, number one, win the turnover battle. We haven't done that since TSU, so we really need to win the turnover battle. Number two is, like I was saying earlier, you got to make the easy reads. I think a lot of times the play calling causes Trezon to look more downfield, right? So I can't put that on him, but I think a lot of times he overlooks some easier throws that he can make, right? And we can keep the chains moving, right? So, dump offs to the running back. And listen, some of these plays, be honest with you, right? Some of these plays, the running back not even in the play, right? Like he not even running a route. You know what I'm saying? Like they fake to him and he just there as an extra blocker, right? You know what I mean? So, some of these underneath passes that he can be making, right, to Juice, to Kobe, right? You know what I mean? Some of these drag plays, some of those plays are there. He just got to put the ball on the man and then it's off to the races. So I think, I'm interested in him making some easy reads, and I'm interested in him, knowing his personnel, right? You got to know your receivers. You got to know who gets open on third downs, right? Who can beat man-to-man coverage. You got to know that already. That should already be in your brain from all the film study, all the time you spent together throughout spring practice, fall practice, and now through these first 5 games. You got to know, like, hey, Juice can get open on this slant, right? Like Juice route running is good. He's going to get open on a slant. That needs to be my first read, right? Or listen, Trezon has been burning this man all day, right? So I'm going to go to Spiller over top, right? Because hey, we got a single safety high, right? I'm going to look the safety off and I'm going to go to Trezon. But like you got to like already know your personnel and know where you're going to go, man, at the end of the day. And then extend the running game. What I mean with extend the running game, like we need to see some more wide receivers. Grambling did a great job of this in the game, right? They did a great job of this after those first couple drives where they wasn't seeing a lot of success on the ground. Man, what did you see like that? I think it's the third drive, right? I mean, that drive, they had like, I want to say like 6 or 7 wide receiver screens on one drive. It was crazy, right? But what did that do, right? That's gonna loosen up the defense. So it gives them a chance now to open up some holes. And I think we need to take that, right? I think we need to watch what other teams are doing and take some of the best of what they're doing, right, and apply it to us. And so if we can do that right and kind of loosen up the defense, I think that's gonna be there. You say trust issues. You think he has trust issues with some of the receivers or what? Say, look, for Juice, he has the highest IQ out there. Yeah, I definitely think so too, right? Also the defense, right? One, we said every week, no big plays. If you don't give up big plays, right, you're gonna be in the game. Also, we got it at the end of the day. Now we can't create pressure with 4 up front. I mean, listen, it is what it is. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. That just ain't us. So now we need to make some creative blitz packages and put them together. Send an extra linebacker, right? Send a corner off the edge. Like we got to put some blitz packages together, right, to create pressure. That just is what it is, because we can't get pressure with just 4 up front. I'm sorry, we can't. So listen, what you gonna do about it? Can't do nothing about it. So at the end of the day, you got to figure out some way, right, to get to the quarterback to speed up his clock. Because that's why we can't create turnovers, because the quarterback's clock is not sped up at the end of the day, right? So and the last thing, man, super important, get off the field on third down. Man, we allow too many third down conversions. And so if we stay on the field like that, man, it's going to be trouble. So let me shoot this in here for you guys. Anybody want to jump on and say your piece before we close out and before we go to this score prediction, man? That's that StreamYard link if y'all want to jump on here and just say your piece. But score predictions, man, what y'all got for this game? Drop y'all score predictions in the comments. Let me know who y'all got winning, what y'all got the score being, and while y'all doing that, just remind everybody, hey man, make sure you are checking in with us here at the PV versus Everybody channel. If you haven't liked the stream, man, go ahead and like the stream. If you haven't subscribed to the page, go ahead and subscribe to the page, man. Make sure you share this out with others at PV Nation, right? So they can know where they can catch all things PVU. So, all right, let's get to the score prediction, man. We got Boom. He got it 2010 PV. Elvin got it 31-10. Kerry got 31-23 Prairie View. All right. Listen, I got it 28-23. 28-23. Because listen, as much as I want to believe in this defense, I don't believe in this defense. I'm sorry. Listen, before Alcorn played us, they were not a good passing team, right? And after they played us, their confidence skyrocketed. So, I think we're still going to get out of here with the win. I think we will find a way to get up early, but again, we don't put our foots on anybody. And so at the end of the day, I don't see that happening with us. So, I got the score 28-23 Prairie View, right? Definitely closer than it needs to be. Richard got it 28-27. So, yeah, man. So that's what I got it, man. That's all I got for this week. So, appreciate you guys for coming and checking in with us. Y'all see me with the, you know what I'm saying, with the PVU up there. So, hey, man, if you guys are interested in jumping on a show in the future, man, definitely let me know. Try to go live every Wednesday. I'm going to try to keep that same pattern, right, of going live every Wednesday, once a week. And let me know, like, if y'all got something interesting that y'all think that we should talk about or discuss on the show, or something that we should bring up, right? If y'all want us to have a show specifically, on one of the other sports as well, hey, man, listen, just let me know. This is all for us, all for PV Nation. So we're just trying to continue to create, conversation, continue to create a movement around what we got going on with PV Sports, and continue to support the athletic program and all things PVU. So Delvin got it 31-14, but all right, man, I don't have anything else. So if nobody got anything, again, we appreciate you guys for coming and jumping on with us. So until next time, I'll see y'all later, man.